Hello and welcome back to the Perfunctionist channel. So you're in for a treat today, or at least I am, because I finally got the amp that I've been coveting for the last couple of years, the Revv D20. I heard about this amp in maybe 2019, 2020, something like that, and I wanted it since then. It's nice and compact, it's very light, you can plug it into different cabinets. And previously, when I've used a real amplifier, I mean, you know, I'm usually doing videos on the Helix, but when I do use a real amp, it tends to be my Mark V, my Mesa Boogie Mark V 35 amp, and various other amps over the years, but in recent times, that was the main one. And you've probably seen my Victory V45 combo as well. But they're both combos. And what I've discovered on some gigs in the last couple of years is that having a 2x12 on stage, if you're doing that kind of gig, seems to push more air and just it makes the guitar sound a bit more present. So I wanted to use this amp and future amps with a 2x12 cabinet. And you may have noticed in previous videos that for my Mesa Boogie Mark V amp, I bought because it's a 1x12 combo, I bought an extension cabinet for it, which I've been using recently. But why do I want to get this one? The Mesa Boogie's fine, the Mark V is lovely, but tonally there's some things that I wanted that were a bit more on the Fender-y side of things. So you might think, well, why not get a Fender? And if money's no object, I will do that. I will get maybe a Hot Rod Deluxe or something like that. But this, as I said, is small, it's light, you can plug in multiple, different types of cabinets into it, but it also has the Two Notes Torpedo embedded in the back of it. So you can connect it directly either to your mixer when you're on a gig, or maybe connect it directly to your audio interface at home if you're recording. So yeah, wonderful piece of kit. People seem to like it, or doesn't seem to have got as much love as I thought it might do, but I like it. The only thing I don't like about this amp, and I say don't like, is the colour. It comes in black. But the one I really wanted was the grey. So when I was chatting with someone, a salesperson on the phone about this amp, I think it was last year, I was asking about the grey one, and they said that it only comes in black or white, and it turns out it doesn't. There is a grey one as well. But I got this essentially second hand, managed to get it B-stock from Anderton's for a pretty good price, and it was a return, and their returns policy is 14 days, so it shouldn't be really more than 14 days old, this amp. So I thought, why not get it for a bargain? I think they retail at about £1,200 at the moment. It's 12 or 1300. I think £1,200. I got mine for a little bit over 800 on B stock. So that was a good deal as far as I'm concerned. Everything seems to be fine with it, which is, fingers crossed. It comes with a nice carry case. Hold on a sec. It comes with this nice Revv branded carry case. I won't completely unzip it, but you can put the amp inside here. It's got a little pouch on the side for you to put your power cable and your speaker cable, which is what I use it for. And for anyone who's wondering, yes, you can use the two notes out and the cab at the same time. It's not something that's crossed my mind, but I've heard other people asking if you can do that. Yes, you can. And as I said, this is also designed to be a pedal platform, unlike what Revv's known for, which is their kind of heavy metal or kind of higher gain amps. This is based on their Dynamis amp, which is more along the lines of like blues and country music. So the D in D20 is for Dynamis, the 20 is 20 watts. Is it loud enough for a gig? We'll find that out in another video. But for home use, it's perfectly loud enough. Too loud if you want it to be, if you want to annoy the neighbours. If you are using it at home, you don't need to have a cab with it. You can use it just the amp on its own. It doesn't need to have a cab plugged into it. It won't explode if you don't have a cab plugged into it. There's a switch on the back where you can switch it to just the internal load, so you don't have to have a cab plugged in. I believe it's smart enough to know that you haven't got a cab plugged in, so even if you haven't switched that, it will still switch to the internal load. It's still one of those scary things you kind of don't want to try out unless you really have to. If you didn't want the single channel version, if you don't want a pedal platform, if you want a second channel, there is the Revv G20, which is based on their generator amplifier, which is one of their high gain amps. So there is that available. It's basically the same as this, but it also has a second channel. It has a couple of extra other features as well, some kind of tone shaping features on there, but essentially it's the same amp with two channels. I don't think the clean channel is as versatile. I think the gain knob doesn't work for the clean channel on the G20, so that's partly why I wanted it for this. I wanted it as a pedal platform, so I went for the D20 instead of the G20, which I think is £100 more or thereabouts, and I think also $100 if that's your currency. Anyway, enough of me yapping. Let's check out some tones. Let's get into this video. Please like this video if you like it. Give me a thumbs up. Feel free to buy me a coffee if you really like this channel. And yes, let's get to it. Alright, so here is the clean sound on the D20. No effects. Remember, the D20 doesn't have any onboard reverb. Everything's pretty much at 12 except the treble, which I've turned down because I find it a bit spiky. That might be because of the greenback speakers I've got in the cab. Maybe not. Maybe it is just quite spiky. But I've turned it down for a little bit. And here's the clean sound. I'm in drop D. Let's do that again. I'm currently on the 20 watt setting. Let's have a look at the 4 watt setting. So a significant difference there. Nice to turn it down for bedroom levels if you so need to do so, or if you need it quieter on stage, and just do everything either through the 2 notes or just have everything more quietly if you need. And let's check out the drive mode. So if I just take this knob here, the gain knob, and pull it out, I'll get the a bit more drive to it. And I've got a Telecaster, so it's not going to be the most drive. It's not going to be the most drive anyway, but with a Telecaster you're going to get even less drive. But it's nice to have something a bit more than just the clean. So let's try this. So here's a normal clean channel. Just engage the drive there. So you can hear it's a lot more driven than it was a minute ago. Let's go back to the normal clean. And I'm on my back pickup here, on the bridge pickup, so there's a lot more oomph to it. Drive mode. Let's see how much more we can drive it. All the way. Not to clip again, but you get the idea. You can hear there's more bass to the drive mode. It's a lot boomier. I believe there's more top end as well, but it's I guess it's almost a kind of scooped V shape EQ there, but there seems to be a bit more oomph to it. One thing I saw on a Sean Tubbs video, who's done a lot of videos for Revv and for this amp, is he likes to have his clean channel with the gain pulled out, so in the drive mode, but turned down to about maybe 9 o'clock. To get a nice clean. Let's check that out. I might want to turn the volume back up again. In fact, here we go. Here's the original clean, normal clean channel. Let's turn it up a little bit. And here is the Sean Tubbs version. Let's turn that down a little bit. I really like that. It's still clean, but it's got a bit more spank to it. and I've said in previous videos that I, like many other people, don't really like my cleans to be absolutely crystal clear clean. Maybe on occasion, depending on the song, but generally speaking, I want it to be a bit more spank, a little tiny bit of drive to it, and this is exactly what I'm looking for. Where it doesn't sound like it's driven, but you can tell there is. If you add a bit of drive, it just kind of makes the clean pop out a bit and gives it that spank, as I like to call it. Right, let's check out some pedals. So I'm going to go back to the normal clean channel for this. Let's go back to how we set it previously at roughly 12 o'clock. So one thing I usually like to have is a bit of reverb. So let's add a bit of reverb coming from my Nux Atlantic pedal. Just a tad of reverb there. I can give it a tiny bit more. Okay, there's a bit of reverb now. Let's do a bit of compression, shall we? I've got my SP compressor turned on. Let's check it out. Alright, let's try some drive. I have the JHS Sweet Tea on hand, and we're going to use the right hand side, the tube screamer pedal essentially. So here we go, and this is with that reverb still on. And here is a bit of high gain for you. So this is the JHS Sweet Tea again, but we're using the JCM 800 side, the left hand side. That's some reverb, some delay, sorry. FYI, that reverb and the delay are both going through the effects loop. This is particularly useful if you are using that Sean Tubbs method that I mentioned earlier on, where you're on the driven channel, the driven mode of the clean channel, and you've got some slight gain there, so it helps to bypass that when you're using reverb and delay, so you don't have any distortion on those, unless you want to, unless that's the sounds you want. If you want to go into the front, with some very mild drive on the front, but you know, putting your reverb and delay into that. If you like that sound, then great. But then this does have an effects loop for you to bypass that in the traditional way if you want to, which is what I've done in this example. Alright, for this bit I'm going to jump over to the Two Notes bit and just check that out. This is actually the first time I'm going to hear it. I'm going to turn off the speaker through the amp like this, so if I'm making some noise you'll hear the speaker cut out when I press this knob button on the back, which basically turns the speaker off if you want to just go speakerless. So just the acoustic sound from my guitar now. Put my ears in and you can join me on hearing what it sounds like going through the Two Notes. Right, so as I said, I haven't heard this yet through the Two Notes yet. I'm assuming this 6-way rotary switch is still set to the default. I believe all 6 of them are set to different variations of Revv cabs. I think the first one's a 4x12 if I remember correctly. I can't remember what the other ones are. Presumably the second one's a 2x12. But I'll go into more detail on that in another video. But I just want to have a check out these direct tones. Right, my initial thoughts are that it sounds a bit duller, but the reason being, I think, is because I've turned the treble down for use with my cab, with my Hughes & Kettner 2x12 with greenbacks in it. So if I turn that back up again, let me put some, let's put on the Tone City Bad Horse on. Let's turn that treble back up again. Yeah, there we go. Might even turn it up more actually. Oh, sorry, my guitar is getting in the way of my B cam. Let me move that out of the way. I could even maybe turn the bass down a bit. It's a 4x12 I believe, so that probably explains why it's quite bassy. Okay, let's check out another cab. I can already hear there's less bass, so I'm assuming that this is a 2x12. Let's try number 3. Number 4. I sense this is a 1x12. It just has that kind of focused and sound that's not too bassy. And what are we on? That number 6 now, is it? Yeah, again, don't know what these speakers are. I'll have to go and check, and we'll check that out in the next video. Let's check out this drive mode as well. Let's turn it up a little bit too. So what do you think of the Revv D20? Is it something that you might want? So some reasons you might want it, which is basically the reason, probably the same reasons I wanted it for, are it is small, very light. It has the Two Notes Torpedo output in the back, so you can plug it directly into your computer. Actually, there is a USB for that, or directly into your mixer, maybe for front of house or for just your interface at home. You don't need to have a speaker with it. It's got that kind of Fendery sound, so it's a very good pedal platform. Maybe you're someone who prefers a single channel amplifier for your pedals, because I can't remember the ins and outs, but there is something more efficient about it rather than having to split between two channels. I think splitting the power between two channels, it only has one, although it does have the drive mode as well, which makes it maybe a little bit less efficient, but it is more efficient than having a proper two-channel amplifier. So great for pedal platform stuff. But if you do want a second channel and you want something with more drive, there is the option of the G20, which I think might be on the more metal side because it's based on the Revv's generator amplifier. So that may be what you're looking for, maybe not be what you're looking for. But for me, this is the kind of exactly what I was looking for. 20 watts, is it enough? We'll find out in another video. Is it enough for live use? For home use, absolutely. For home use, yes, absolutely. For live use, yes, we'll find out in another video. Until then, I hope you've enjoyed this one. Please give this a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.